The story here was that I had this idea. I wanted to photograph an aristocrat. And you can do that in Paris, at least some of the people I know. In fact, I remember about 3 or 4 Paris photos back, I was introduced to a woman who was related to Joan of Arc. I said, oh, only in France could this happen. Very wonderful woman, very elegant, very elegant. This is not right. But what had happened is that you can't recognize this dog, but this particular dog, this white dog, is the same dog as in first casting for Milan, huh? Because the writer knows this woman. She knows everybody. That's how I was able to photograph a lot of celebrities too in Paris, including Isabel. And so anyway, what happened is that this woman came to the gallery in Paris, and she knew my work, but she wanted to meet me. And she saw me, and she said, okay, you can photograph me. I said, well, what made the difference? And she said, well, I didn't know what to expect, but I see that you're a regular person. I said, okay, fine. But I said, then I showed her the sketch, and I said, well, this regular person is going to take a chemise. They do it in really classical dressmaking. You wear this kind of gown of cotton, and then you can work on that as the maquette for the form of the final gown or the dress. And this is also filmed, so they film me. She was nude under this thing, the chemise, and I cut the holes, and I cut them out with the scissors, which I was sweating. And then I had to cut the hole for her legs and the pubic area, but we moved that down for the photograph. And I photographed this in an apartment in Paris, and this was this family member is real. The people who had the apartment, this is one of their ancestors. And of course it's based on a painting by Maublanc, and she was a very, very close friend of Marie Antoinette, and she created about 600 portraits, sometimes of herself, but most of other people, aristocrats. And during the shot, I posed the dog, I painted this background, I lit it while the film guys were filming. I went out and got these taxidermy, a cat and a bird, and there's actually a person behind her stretching out this form, because I really wanted that shape. The photograph didn't take long. I shot this 6x7, which is not a large negative at all, but I really wanted to see every minor detail, especially the lighting, and I couldn't do that safely with a regular 4x5 because the difference between what you're looking at and what the camera lens is seeing is totally different. So how to use this camera. And I shot one roll of film, I got it. And afterwards, of course, the film crew being French, they interviewed her for an hour. And was found out, with a little French I did know, the fact that she wanted to have me photograph her, and of course she got a gift print for it as payment, because she basically had a handle on her alcoholism. So this is kind of nice too. See? And so what she has then, what we all have, I guess, is an image of a kind of a victory. Hers over that addiction and mine over the problem of making a photograph. This was the first shot, actually, I did in the same location in Bogota. And I wanted a pre-op transsectional. And through my translator there, a guy named Kareem, who I met one time before because I had a show in Bogota, he knew of a few gay guys who possibly would know a pre-op. And it just so happened that the night before they went out dancing and they met this pre-op. And so I was able to meet her, and I said, she's astounding. And in fact, she didn't take off her clothes. I saw her without clothes on, only just in the shot when she was being made up. And she has this, whoever made these breasts, I don't know, I think they used just to use that 59 Cadillac bumper. I think they're under there as far as structure. I think those are the amateurs. And the crazy thing is the fact that her middle finger, something must have happened to the finger. You may have noticed this, because it's very, very phallic. And we didn't touch that. I only used the compositing to basically clean up some hair, and we made this solarization happen, which is fantastic. And these prints were at this School of Art, and they were made by an American photographer in the 30s or 40s. No one really knew. And it's something to do with a dictator. And no one knew his name, but I saw it and I said, I want to use these in the photograph. And, you know, this is shot 4x5, so it's razor sharp. And I had this background painted. And this background represented this kind of a freak show of life, if you would. And it's about an age wherein I read a lot of books on phenomenology, theology, and aspects of future times from secular and religious writers. And supposedly in the Catholic Church there's a time of purification. There's a time when the religious will be the servants of different people. So in my case, what I wanted to do is create a time where pre-op transsexuals are in power and religious are their servants. And so this is a prom photograph of a person who's basically just finishing high school. And I think it really balances on an aspect of kind of horror and fun at the same time, because I really like projecting something in the future, because I think we all do that somehow. But especially in this case, I really enjoyed the possibility. If I didn't have this person, I wouldn't have done this photograph. I would have done this photograph with the background of somebody else. It's based on this particular maquette model, and I started this in Albuquerque and kept refining it in Bogota, add to it. And so this is a kind of map or atlas for the resulting photograph. This, yeah. Everything is a form of discovery, and when of course I make across the film, do the contact prints, choose the best negative, and I said to myself, well, you know, I just can't have all this extra stuff around. I basically want to create this kind of coffin shape. Then I made this slightly different. And then I wanted to use the retablo prayer, and I basically designed this. It took me several hours to design this whole thing, and it took me a while to design it right into the proportions on the easel as I'm printing. But it's very, very important to me. The word tells me what to do, and that's part of the dialogue you create. And I really like this. In fact, I really like the way this was matted. It's perfect.